Hey everybody, welcome back to Lone Wolf. I am Morganite, and Zip here is my wonderful, amazing DM.
Hello.
So if you've noticed, my voice is a little wrecked. I have apparently contracted strep throat again, so we're gonna go as long as I can. um, but we may end up calling it a little early because swallowing is very painful right now.
Yeah, so
But
we won't do anything that involves a lot of swallowing. There'll be there'll be no swallow checks.
good, good. Yeah, it's good.
Good.
Good to see you guys. Thanks. Sorry for the delay. I also had some friends up visiting for my birthday, and they just left.
Hello, Mama.
Hey, Mama, how you doing?
Yeah,
So I'm
next week we promise we'll be on time.
right. I'm gonna let Zip talk for a minute. He's got some intro stuff to like connect everything, and I'm gonna read through the
Yes.
chat.
Also, I have I changed my location. We changed our apartment around, so I have a giant penguin behind me. That has no bearing on the game, but just so you know, it's a giant lurking penguin. Uh, Perception stat of +8. Okay, so where we stopped last time, of course, we were. Oh, and if one of you can give Knight N.Y. Mueller permission to post, he was trying to shoot us a link for something he's working on, just to shoot you that. Okay, so last time we had quite the change, quite the event for those who were not with us. The great lone wolf has fallen, and as news of this strikes the kingdom of Summerland, like it takes. Well, let me back up a little bit. News of this reaches Summerland first of all through the guides that accompanied Lone Wolf into the icy wastelands of Cult, because two survived, and they actually they survive there. They make it back to the ship, and Captain Kelmar takes them back to Aang's cabin, where they report on some very disturbing, distressing things. So the story as they tell it is that the night that Lone Wolf disappeared with one of their other guards, or guides, sorry, um, they they were of course devastated. They didn't know what to do. They searched the mountainside for her and decided to wait for 3 days, in the hopes that she would come back, and that before they would turn around. During that time, there was suddenly a terrible, on the second day, halfway through the second day, a terrible rumbling and cracking, that reverberated all across the wastelands. And in the distance, a great snowstorm built up and obscured all of their vision. And they were forced to bunker down for the night. When the snowstorm cleared the next morning, Akaya was gone on the horizon. It simply wasn't there, and they didn't know what to make of this. The two guides argued over whether to continue on or go back. Eventually, they did decide to actually push forward and try to make it to Akaya and see what had happened, figuring maybe there had been some sort of battle, and maybe Lone Wolf had done something, and they would find her miraculously at the site where Ikaya once was. But when they got there, there was only a great gaping hole in the earth, just a great chasm, that seemed to go down and down and down, far beyond what they could see. Um, it was like the entire fortress had literally been lifted out of existence and just gone. Um, they took this news back to the kingdom of Summerland, where news of Lone Wolf's disappearance um, hit the population like a plague and spread quickly. And the it has caused um, a lot of dissension with the throne. People are There are grumblings in the countryside that the throne can no longer protect them, and that the fall of the Kai Lord, the last of the Kai, will also be the end of Summerland itself. So this is kind of the setting, and while all this is going on, a disaster strikes the throne. So, changing our topic a little bit, Ruanon. If we look at the map, you can see that down here, Morganite. It is right here.
Okay.
Boop, on the map.
Yep.
It's a remote mining province to the south of Summerland, nestled between the sullen peaks of the Dern Crag and the Malkin Mountains. The people of this province have long prospered from their toil in the ore-rich mines, living and enjoying their wealth under the protection of their lord, Baron Vonneland. The golden gems that are mined at Ruanon yield an important source of revenue to the Summerland nation. The heavily guarded convoy of wagons that leave the province and journey to the capital has become a regular monthly routine, a routine that had never been broken until this month, when suddenly all contact with Ruanon ceased. Obviously, with the grumblings that are going around the countryside, the king was fast to act. He sent a troop of 100 cavalry from his personal guard. He dispatched them to investigate the whereabouts of the missing convoy. Their commanding officer, Captain Duvall, was ordered to report back to the king as soon as contact was made. But he and his men have not returned. They too have disappeared without a trace. And so the call went out to set up another troop to now go find not just what happened to Ruanon, but to find the missing men. A company of border rangers, a unit of elite scouts, all of whom are skilled in horsemanship and outdoor survival, have been gathered, and there's 50 of them. And over them has been placed a knight of the from Durinur, who fought in the battle at Holmgard against the Dark Lords and has stayed on. And that knight is I will let Morganite take it from there. Morganite, tell us of our new hero that we shall follow.
All right, our new hero is a exiled female dwarf. She's a mountain dwarf, and her name is Shard. Her real name is for her own knowing. Nobody else really knows who she is. She was a sage that was booted out of her hometown for prophesizing basically the fall of Lone Wolf. And they did not like the fact that she wanted them to ally with the humans, and so she was exiled. And has made a bit of a name for herself as pretty much the only female dwarven paladin in the area, now that she's living in a human country.
Yeah, to fill in some of the Lone Wolf specific details, the Borrees, there were dwarves that were like rallying behind Shard in wanting to open up their kingdom's borders and join the armies of Holmgard and Durinur to fight against the north, or to fight against the threat from the west rather, and this was creating this was seen as creating problems. So they exiled her, and she was put herself into the Durinese Knights. So those who know the Lone Wolf books a little bit, she's risen up through the order of the Durinese Knights, and is now in D&D terms, a 4th level paladin. That comes with pretty much everything that a 4th level paladin would get. In addition, did you need any stats on your weapons? You asked like hand axes and stuff.
The weapons are good. I did want to double check a question, clarification with you. With picking a fighting style, I was going between dueling and defense. I was going to take dueling, except unless you counted a shield as like another weapon, because it's when you're wielding one melee weapon in one hand and no other weapons. Do you count a shield as a weapon?
A shield is not a weapon.
Okay.
Shield is explicitly armor.
All right, then
So,
I'm taking the
yes.
dueling fighting style for her then.
Great. Okay. Yeah, so you would gain +2 damage to all your weapons.
Yep.
Ann Weiss Mueller was asking what oath you took. I'm curious myself.
I am from the Oath of Devotion.
Beautiful. That seems very Duranese.
That was the thought.
Don't lie or cheat. There you go.
Right? I know. I can't try and like finagle my way around things.
Yeah, and I will mention, like, you are not allowed to lie as a Duranese. Like, that is the whites of the Night Mountain do not lie. Ofex also asked if the cult guides found anything amongst the Kaya ruins, maybe the Summer Sword. No, they did not. They found nothing. It was literally a huge mile long, just gash in the earth, a deep hole that went down and down and down in the darkness. They did not linger long. They left there quickly. All right, then one last piece of business for you. You, as a Borees gunner, or dwarven gunner, you have your boar musket, which is a classic item of the dwarves of Magnuma, and it is a ranged weapon that you carry on your back. It's a musket, so it's big, and it has a range of anything under 40 feet is fine. Anything over that takes disadvantage. Up to 120 feet is its max range. It gets 6 shots per adventure, and when you fire it, it's basically you just make a dexterity, like an attack, like a ranged attack roll. If you hit, you deal 2d12 plus dex piercing damage.
Okay.
So quite a bit more damage than your other ranged weapon ability options.
Yes, indeed.
It takes an action to fire. You can only fire it once a round because it takes
an action to reload. Yeah.
Exactly. I mean, we'll take an a reload, but it takes a free. Yeah,
it's a musket.
It takes a turn. You're reloading it.
Yeah.
So yeah, it takes a while. All right. So that is your special weapon. And we are going to start this adventure. So you have volunteered, step forward, to take over the command of these border rangers. Ofex asked if she would be using a bow for the character. I figure not, because the musket kind of takes up the bow slot. But she could be using if she wants to get like hand crossbows, and I think actually what she chose is hand axes. Yes. She's going to be throwing hand axes.
What's the range on those? If
she needs to.
60, 30?
Not that far.
Yeah.
I want to say they're like 20, 40. Let me take a quick look.
That's fine.
We'll see. I mean,
she's a tank. She's not terribly like ranged.
They are 20-60.
Okay.
They also count as light weapons, so if you grab one in each hand, you can go to town as your offhand bonus.
Sweet.
Offhand bonus attack. So, okay, so the king is grateful to see a Duranese knight step forward. He does not, King Pelithar does not know you, but your countrymen speak for you. You've actually gained a very positive reputation in their eyes, overcoming some slight racism, or I guess it would be more xenophobia,
right,
rather than racism, and rising high in the ranks to become a respected member of their army. So the king orders his 50 men to accompany you in the hope that with your leadership you may succeed where the larger and more visible force failed. You guys are leaving the royal armory this morning when you spot a black crow perched on a window ledge high above. It caws twice and flies away, but not before a shiver has run down your spine. In Bori's superstition, seeing a crow at the beginning of a journey means ill omen. All right, we are ready to begin. Unless you have anything special you wish to do before we begin this adventure.
I don't believe so.
All right. In that case, pull up my map here. All right. Music's good then for everybody? We're ready to go? Awesome.
Battle axe is strength, right? To attack?
Yes. So, for 3 days, you lead your brave company of rangers across the lush plains of southern Summerland on the first stage of your urgent mission. The flat, treeless fields surround you with a seemingly endless expanse of wheat, so high that even though you are in the saddle, it reaches well above your knees. Your horses seem to be swimming through a vast yellow sea of corn that is only interrupted by an occasional track or a group of isolated farmhouses. The Southerners welcome your sudden appearance, but you only make the briefest stops for food and rest, neither wishing to risk becoming a burden, nor alarm these good people with the direness of your, well, I should say the mystery of your mission. We don't know if it's dire just yet. I mean, we can assume Morganite's on it. It's probably not good, but these peasants don't need to be bothered with that. So let's see, where am I? Sorry, fixing an illustration here. By noon on the 4th day, you reach the pass of Moitora. Here the plains give way to the broken foothills of the Derncrag Mountains. You soon reach a highway, the surface cracked and full of potholes, leading off towards the south. This is the notorious Ruinon Pike. South of the pass, the Ruinon Pike crosses 100 miles of open territory known as the Raiders Road. Bandit tribes from the wildlands and Giak war bands from the mountains of the west frequently ambush those who travel along the pike, and the regular shipment of gold and gems from the mine of Ruinon have sometimes yielded rich pickings to these merciless robbers. So you call upon your martial training and your leadership, and you're ordering people in different formations. Point and flankers, you shout, and immediately 3 groups of the rangers peel away from the column and spur their horses to a gallop. You watch with some actual impression. You're impressed by the expertise of these horsemen as they take up scouting positions to the front and side of the company. Do you have anything else you wish to tell them to do? Anything as you're riding across these open plains that you're looking out for, you want to know about?
Yeah, is any of what's the command structure like?
And you're right around here, by the way.
Yeah, okay. Is do I have some underlings specifically that I would how is it just me and then everyone else, or is there a tiered kind of a thing? Do I have advisors or people that are higher up?
There are ranks. These are all border rangers. So they all have similar abilities. But yeah, you definitely have I mean, it's kind of up to you. Would you have preferred to break the groups into captains and units, or are you more somebody who wants to have full control and you just want everybody on equal footing?
I mean,
that's your call.
For the most part, I think it should all be one group, but there should always be a command structure in case I go down or in case they can't hear me.
Awesome. So
at least 2 people, I think that I could interact with.
Okay. So you appoint 2 captains to kind of report directly to you and carry out your orders amongst the other men and women of the Border Rangers. Let's call one of them. You name one of them. I'll name the other one, or the chat can throw my name out there if they want. Anybody have a name? Anybody have a name for these 2 Rangers?
Your cat is just.
I know, she's all over me.
She needs the love, man.
Is that Soliam? Is that Soliam? And Weissmuller put up Soliam.
Okay.
So let's say Soliam, and then he said Kitty. So let's do Kitty. So Soliam and Kitty. Um, Kitty's a nickname, obviously, for one of the only other females in the group. Um, and she's taken that name to heart. She's basically calls herself the lynx of the group. She says she can stalk her prey and catch
Freya,
everybody.
right? We could have dragged Freya in.
We could have dragged Freya in, although she stays away from my gaming. Um, but and Soliam is an older bandit, or sorry, older border ranger.
I mean,
Who,
sure.
but we'll say he used to be a bandit, but he was captured and then actually reformed and became a member of the border rangers. So he's especially useful because he knows the ways of bandits. So that's awesome. I'll write those down. So do you have any other orders for these guys, or are we just moving forward?
Yeah, how familiar am I with the area? Not terribly.
No, you wouldn't be. No. You're familiar with Durner and your homeland, of course, and to some degree you have basic knowledge of other areas you've traveled through, but yeah, you don't have any knowledge, like in particular of this area.
I like that you put that in the chat too. Like,
yeah, that was that was a mistake, but there you go. Huh. Kitty and Soliam for all you guys.
Probably just asking, like, you know, what is there to know about this area? Because if she's unfamiliar, she doesn't want to go in completely blind.
Yeah, so you want to are you just like having him scout out more, or just are you asking questions and kind of getting your bearings?
Mainly getting my bearings.
Okay, so yeah, you keep company with Soliam and Kitty, and get your bearings on these lands. Just kind of ask them for reports, and they tell you essentially what I told you before. You know that these are bandit tribes. This borders the wildlands. It's an extremely dangerous road, and you know it's not maybe as patrolled as often as it should be, especially since the war. And it's Soliam's opinion that that's why the bandit activity has improved. And Kitty's opinion...
You mean increased, not improved?
Increased. Yeah, words today.
Words every Saturday.
Yeah, words every Saturday. Kitty's opinion is a little bit more cynical. She goes off on a whole thing about how the populace, is ripe for revolt because of what happened with the death of the Kai Lord and the lack of trust now in the crown. And it's sort of under that, you're sort of taking in those words and thinking on that when a ranger scout approaches the company from the west. He points towards a craggy outcrop where a thin spiral of wood smoke betrays a hut hidden beneath the overhanging rock. And he says, he says, I don't know if that's friend or foe, but it's unusual to see holdfasts out here. And Soliam agrees and says, yeah, very unusual that anybody out here this close to the highway would be letting smoke be visible from the road.
All right, let's go check it out.
Okay. An escort of 5 rangers accompanies you along the twisting narrow track that leads to the hut. The main army stays on the highway.
Makes sense.
The rough stone walls are covered with a damp moss, to which is set a curious oval door. There are no windows.
That's really, really weird.
Yeah.
Any, like, foot tracks, anything like that, to get a feel for how trafficked the area is, or?
You can make a quick, like, survival check to see if you can recognize any tracks.
Let me open the blinds. It got real dark again. I need to be able to see my die. There we are. Survival, you said?
Yep. And Weissmuller is asking how you got to Durner, by whether you sail the Tentarias. That's possible. There's a lot of ways she could have gotten there. I don't think we've talked about it yet, but we'll have to.
Survival is a 12.
You don't see any tracks. You don't see anything that looks. Now it hasn't rained in many days, so you're not sure. I mean, you're kind of still at the end of summer here.
Right.
You're not sure that there's just maybe the ground just doesn't show.
Okay. And it doesn't look like the hut's on fire. It's just smoke coming up a chimney or something.
Yeah, just smoke is coming out of a hole in the stone walls and roof.
Weird. Let's go to the door and try knocking on it. See what happens.
You're approaching the door when suddenly a voice calls from inside the hut. Come in, Shard. I've been expecting you.
Whoa, that's unexpected.
Not for him. He's been expecting you.
Clearly, not for. I mean, Shard's like, wait, what? Who knows my name out here? All right. I'll tell the guards that are with me to remain like at the ready, and I'll open the door.
Okay. Are you bursting in like
No,
weapons
I'll
drawn? Are you
open it
okay? Let me give you
cautiously.
A picture. Replacing picture.
I mean, they called me by name.
Yeah, they did. Very, very unusual. This is one of those doors like in Cult. You know, you open it, instant death.
No.
Let's see. Picture coming. If I can get my. There we go. Okay.
So we have one of these fortune-telling old dudes.
Yeah, he in the dim light of the interior, you see an old man seated at a table. The flicker of a log fire is all that illuminates the foul-smelling hovel, yet it sheds enough light for you to see the clutter of charts and strange instruments that crowd the hut. The man slowly raises his gaze from a large crystal sphere and says, "Please, Shard, have a seat." And he indicates a chair opposite him.
No harm in being polite. She'll sit.
Okay. Are you saying anything else?
How do you know my name? And who may you be?
The stars foretold our meeting long ago, he replies, slowly passing his withered old hands around the sphere. Be not alarmed by my knowledge, for I wish only to aid you. He reaches out a thin hand and slowly kind of points at your forehead.
Mm-hmm.
And he says, you have seen past the veil.
Yes, much good that it has done me. I have, on occasion.
And this is tell me a little bit about like your background in this. Like in Boar, were you did you have any formal like training in how to use your abilities, or was it something you believed and were kind of seen as a madman or madwoman by others? Like what was your what was your background in that?
Give me a second. I had this written down somewhere. I actually had that, like, it was more of kind of a sudden thing that happened out of the blue. Like, she'd get these feelings and hunches and stuff like that. But she didn't have any, like, formal training in, like, being a seer.
And then you had this shocking vision of
right.
Lone Wolf falling.
Right. I mean, that wasn't the first time that had happened, but everything else had been minor. Like, oh, the crops are gonna do well this year or something like more minor stuff, not like earth-shattering.
Gotcha. So
and more personal.
And you never quite knew. You just believed it. You didn't quite know how to control it.
Right. It just happens.
Okay. So then when he says this is a bit of a shock, because here's somebody who's directly acknowledging your abilities, who's never met you before.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't do you have anything else to say, or are you just listening to him?
She's probably in shock and just kind of trying to process.
So while you're doing that, he suddenly produces a small scroll of parchment from within his robe and hands it to you.
Okay. She'll look at it. What does it say? Or
It says, and I'll copy this into the Roll20 here so you can read it as well. When the full moon shines over the temple deep, a sacrifice will stir from sleep the legions of a long-forgotten lord. When a fair royal maid on the altar dies, the dead of Mockin Gorge shall rise to claim their long-awaited reward.
hang on, Mockinggorge?
Yeah, this is the adventure of which I used a chunk of it for our other D&D game.
Okay. I was very confused. I'm like, wait, I thought this was a different world.
Yeah,
Ah.
no, I couldn't help myself. That was before I knew we'd be running through the books, so I was stealing from them abjectly.
Okay.
To be fair, I do link to it in the blog. I do say where it came from. But yeah, no. For those who don't know, yes, this is where we in our 2 year, going on 2 years, I think. Our other Dungeons and Dragons game, which we play not live streaming, I did lift a chunk of this adventure for that. So there are some similarities that you'll see, but quite a few differences as well.
Okay. That may either aid my adventure or trip me up horribly.
Probably trip you up horribly.
Okay.
So what's the? So yeah, you read this on the scroll.
What does this have to do with me?
When you look up, you see the man is gone.
Okay, that was weird. Is the fire still burning?
The fire's still burning.
Okay. Anything of interest in the building here that I should pilfer?
You can make a quick perception roll.
What is my perception? 21.
Oh yeah. So the scroll is still in your hand. So you have a feeling you should wrap that up and put it in a pocket.
Yep.
The crystal ball, which he was holding at first, looks to be special, but then you see there's a deep crack in it, and it seems to just be an old glass sphere.
Okay.
Nothing else seems to be of interest in here.
Okay, well, I'll pocket the scroll and head out back to my group.
Yeah, so when you exit, your people are like, hey, sir? And sir is a non-gender word for a knight here. So they say, sir, do you what happened in there? What was going on?
Chance would have me cross paths with a stranger. He meant no harm. Let's keep moving.
Okay. They take you at face value, and you guys rejoin the group, and have ridden less than 5 miles with the main force when you see a group of wagons on the highway ahead. Let me throw up a picture of this. Lots of pictures early here in the story. Okay. The wagons are painted in a gaudy mix of bright colors and drawn by teams of oxen. A huge tasseled banner flies above the leading wagon, which bears the following proclamation. The famous Asagir players, troubadours, to the imperial courts of Magnamund. They're coming very close to your procession.
Interesting. Is anyone familiar with this group? Because they're supposedly the famous.
Yeah. What did I? What was it? I'm already forgetting names. That's hilarious. Soliam, that was it. Soliam sort of laughs and says, "I've seen them perform. Quite a good show, actually. The members change from time to time as such groups tend to do, but always good. Always a good time. Always a good show." He's like, then he stops and he's like, do you think maybe, he says, traveling troubadours, they sometimes see things, they travel across the lands.
Yes.
Might be good to question them if my lady wishes.
Yes, my thoughts exactly. Because I was literally thinking the same thing. So,
yeah, right.
Yeah, she'll ride forward and try and hail the whoever's in charge at the front.
The wagons halt, and a small moon-faced man in a bright pink tunic throws open the rear door of the leading carriage. He shouts and curses the driver as he descends the ladder, pausing only to adjust the cummerbund that barely covers his huge stomach. Seeing your men, he lets out a strangled shriek and fumbles for a short sword hanging at his side. "Bandits! Robbers!" he cries, and wrestles to free his sword from its ornate scabbard. A row of anxious faces appears at the wagon windows, but the expression soon change to a smile when they recognize your summer-lending uniforms. "Calm down, Yasu," shouts an elderly woman. "They are summer-lending rangers. They will not steal your gold." Laughter ripples along the carriages as the little fat man suddenly unsheathes his sword with such force that he spins around and tumbles to the ground.
Effective.
Yeah, are you sort of the type to just sort of stare at him as he goes down, like with disdain, or you?
No, she's not cruel.
Gotcha.
More mild humor and like kind of an eye roll.
So you have a slight smile on your face.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
This is sort of like amusing. And here's a picture of the event. I actually really like this picture. This is one of his better ones.
Yeah.
All right.
You keep cutting the pictures off, like at the top there.
Oh, that's because it looks different on mine. There we go.
Yeah. You have to drop it down a little bit lower.
Well, I'll remember that. So the old woman says, "You must forgive Yasu. He means you no harm. Raiders Road has made him a nervous wreck."
Yes, that is what I was hoping to find out. We are heading this way because of the news of bandits. Have you encountered any such along your travels so far?
She thinks, she says, "No, not yet, and we hope we don't. We've come from Cloesia. That's our native lands. And we last played for the people of Eshnar. But it was a little disappointing. The town is quiet as the grave. Those who did come were kind of a sad and sorry crowd. Hopefully Home Guard is a more appreciative audience."
The Home Guard mourns. Laughter might be greatly appreciated.
Hopefully they don't mourn as much as the people of Eshnar. It was certainly there's some pall over the southern lands, and of course war is breaking out again in the Cloesian area. This seems to be constant in those riverlands. I say, light is fading. Perhaps you and your rangers would care to camp with us tonight. We would deem it an honor, and we'd be happy to entertain you with songs and dancing.
In return for the protection of our sword arms, I see.
Ah, she smiles and says, if for a night we can rest easy and let poor Yasu sleep a full night, well, it would do him good when we reach home, God.
Yes, can't have him drawing swords on the locals.
The men are all looking to you, waiting your decision. You kind of notice you can make an insight check.
Sure. Let's do 20.
Oh yeah. You definitely notice that the men are wanting to stay. There's a hopeful look in everyone's eyes.
Right, and it's
you all
later in the day too, so it's like, yeah.
It is. The light is fading, as she said. Maybe not as she might be exaggerating a little bit, but she's not going to be long wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And in addition, you don't sense any malice from her or Yasu, even though he drew his sword on you.
Right.
So, but it's your choice. You can camp with them, or you can press on.
Sure, let's camp.
All right. So the wagons are drawn into a circle, and you set up camp inside. You post a ranger to patrol the perimeter and keep watch. The troubadours construct a small stage onto which strides Yasu. He calls for silence and says, "Tonight we have something special for everyone. A performance we are trying out before we reach home, God." He says, "I will give no further introduction, but please lower your voices and open your minds, because the things you are about to see will change you forever." And he strides away, and soon a new voice reaches your ears, and it says, and for all of those in the audience, I am coming forward with the most fantastic magic, no? The things you have never seen, the things you'll never see again. I will show you the wonders of places and worlds and things you have never dreamed of in this land. Yes, no, it will be fantastic, for I am Mamba the Great, and this is my show for all of you. And a man strides onto the stage. He's thin and maybe not exceptionally tall, but how thin he is sort of seems to lend him a height, and he strides with large dramatic steps across the stage.
I mean, truthfully, everyone's tall to Shard.
Yeah, everybody's tall to Shard. So this man seems particularly tall to you, and he strides across the stage with great, whipping his cape around him, a red and gold cape, and he starts with holding out his hands, and flames appear in them, and everybody's sort of like, the Rangers are all seeming, nodding in kind of a approval, and then he starts juggling the flames, and that gets the crowd kind of worked up. And the show kind of continues on in this way, with shows of magic and things like that. At one point, he notices that a young girl in the audience is sort of not really paying attention. She's flirting with one of the Rangers, and he calls her out and says, you what could be so fascinating over here that you not pay attention to the great Mamba? And he points at her, and a gust of wind blows down and lifts up her dresses. And he goes, "Oh no, now I see. No, that is very, of course." And then he says, and as the wind continues to kind of whirl around her, he's like, "No, come back here, wind." And he jumps into the crowd and starts chasing the wind around, and it turns into a comedy. And it's actually quite funny, as he's chasing the wind past people, up different different girls' dresses. Bowls over one of the rangers as he's capering about, before he finally manages to seemingly bottle it in a little gold pouch that he takes out from his inside of his cape. And with that done, as he kind of gets back on stage, and another man enters the stage, and if you were Lone Wolf, you would recognize Rezi at this point, making his way on. But what you all see is just a silent figure with a sort of taciturn look on his face, and Mamba says, "Now, for this next event, we shall need a volunteer. It is not usual, that we are visited by men of such battle prowess, and tonight I could not stop him. He insisted, the Rezi, that he would come out and he would test his mettle against any one of the Summerlanding Rangers. Oh, these will be fantastic, no? He says what would who will come forth and test their skills against my friend here, Rezi?"
Oh, I'm hearing myself. That was weird.
Yeah, that was weird. I think there was a sound issue for a minute.
Hello.
Did I cut out, or were we good?
No, you were there the whole time. All of a sudden, like, it routed my voice through. That was strange.
Okay. In that case, he points, of course, at you, and he says, "Now there is a figure that would make for a fascinating fight." Say, what is your name?
She'll kind of roll her eyes a bit, and because she's not terribly into like the whole public exhibitionism thing, and it's kind of like, oh, I don't want to like accidentally murder somebody on stage.
And he said, "Did you say that?"
Yeah.
He says, no, this is not a murder show. This is a show of skill and of the illusion of danger. We will not let you use your actual weapons. Oh, no, my friend Rezi would cut you into pieces then, no? Yeah, no, we were removing the armors, and we were coming up, and we shall use these quarter stabs to do our fight. And your men are cheering you on. They're like,
right.
Show them what the North is made of.
Right. All right. She'll begrudgingly do it because they seem to be in good humor, and
they clap madly as you're pulled up on stage, and Mama kind of jokes around a little bit as he goes to pull you up. He like lets himself be pulled halfway off stage, and he's like,
I mean, she's heavy. She's got chainmail.
Maybe I misjudged you. Maybe you'll get my friend in a grapple, no, and you hold him down and pin him, and it'll be amazing. That would be amazing. But he sets up the stage. He hands you both quarterstabs. You remove your armors off, so you just have your AC. Your 10 plus your dex is your AC.
Okay.
And you're wielding a quarterstaff. Whose stats are, you can use strength or dex for this, I believe. Let me check that real quick, just make sure I'm not giving you false info on that.
Yeah, don't do that.
You can use, no, it is a strength weapon. I'm sorry, it is a strength weapon.
Okay.
But it is versatile. You can wield it with both hands for 1d8, or you can wield it with one hand for 1d6. Which I think, don't you get your thing? If you hold it one-handed, you'll get your +2 to damage rolls.
Yeah, I mean, technically 1d8 is +2 potential. It's a potential of
That's
+2.
true, but as opposed to a guaranteed +2.
Right.
So yeah, I guess you could do more damage with the D8 with the +2. So yeah, makes more sense for you to hold it two-handed. Or no, you won't get the +2.
I won't get the +2.
Yeah, so it's your call. It's what you want to do it. Which one are you going to do? You're going to wield it one-handed or two? Mamba also says there will be a prize for if you can best the Rezi, I will give you something. And he whips out a potion from his cape and says, it is a potion of bravery, one I have concocted my very self for anybody who can best Rezi tonight. It'll give you the strength to ask out that special someone you've been waiting, or it will maybe make you stronger in battle. But you cannot drink it.
Those are great differences in potential.
Well, not everybody wants to fight. They're not the realm for everyone. For Rezi, it is the realm. For Mamba, I put my mind to other tasks, like setting up fights.
Yep. Yeah, let's do two-handed.
All right, sweet. So you get on stage, and without much what's it called? Delay or build up, Rezi swings his staff around and comes rushing at you. So you guys make your initiative rolls.
Okay. Let's see. Plus Dex? Yeah. Well, I've done better. That was a 10.
Yeah, Rezi got a 23.
Whoa, okay.
He comes leaping at you.
He's super ready to go.
He's super ready to go. And he gets what's your AC now?
13.
13. He hits you. You try to get out of the way, but he's so fast that he strikes you quickly with the quarterstaff. And Mama says, "Oh, see him, Rezi. He strikes like the snake, or like my favorite creatures. He comes in, he strikes before the opponent even has a chance to get ready." And he ends up dealing that is 10 damage to you.
Jesus.
Yeah, it's just a brutal, just like blow across the chest, but it seems to knock the wind out of you. And what's your move?
Yeah, she'll go ahead and try and clobber him.
All right. Oh, see how the dwarf, she recovers so fast. She is used to getting hit, no? And she comes back with a, what'd you roll?
15.
Yes, you strike him.
Okay.
And she comes back. Oh, look at that. She has knocked his legs off from under him. 6. 6 damage?
Mm-hmm.
Sweet, and he has fallen already. I've seen you take worse falls, but that was looking like a painful one, no? Man, oh, she is coming at you, Rezi. And Rezi rolls out of the way of your follow-up strike, and gets up and snaps the quarterstaff in two over his knee, and comes at you with both pieces. He hits on with one of them for a little less damage because he's broken this in half. That is for 5 damage. And then he's going to try to follow up the other one, which he also hits for 3 damage.
Okay.
So he just sort of uses these like billy clubs and just whacks you once in the chest again where he struck you before. And then again, as you sort of spin out of the way, he cracks you across the shoulder.
Damn, I don't get like a extra attack until I think next level. I still just have the one.
All right.
Yeah,
so what's your response? And Mamba says, "Oh, it is like I said. He is like the snake and the spirit and the wheels are all rolled into one. He is a vast package."
Yeah. She'll go ahead and try and hit him again.
All right.
24.
Oh, yeah.
That time was only 5 damage.
5 damage. Your strike was good enough that you can so you come in and just kind of jab it at his one end of the staff at his neck and strike him in the chin, and you have a quick chance to make a follow-up attack.
Oh. Can she try and disarm him with one of the
Yeah.
19.
19. So you won't do damage on this. What we're gonna do, you've hit him. We're gonna roll an opposed strength check to see if you can knock it from his hands.
$18.
Watch how the dwarf moves. She comes in, she strikes him, and oh no, that is one of your weapons, Resi. What are you doing letting go of your weapon? You're killing me here. I only make the one potion tonight. He's lost one of his weapons. It goes flying off into the crowd.
Mm-hmm.
And Resi's gonna still try to come at you, but now he's at a bit of a disadvantage. Not literally, but he only has one weapon left, and it's a broken quarterstaff. So he does manage to he kind of flips it around in his hand like almost like he'd hold a combat knife,
right, and
just uppercuts you with it for 5 more damage.
Okay.
All right. And then you both kind of circle for a moment. He's looking pretty hurt. He's bleeding from where you struck him on the chin. How are you looking?
I'm pretty hurt, but I have more HP than Lone Wolf did.
All right, nice.
Lone Wolf would be unconscious already.
It's your turn. It's your turn to get a strike in.
Can I try to disarm him again? Because then he can't do anything.
Oh, nice. Yeah, try it again.
I rolled a 16 that time.
Okay, you hit him, so another strength check.
Okay. 21.
All right, so Mama is calling out things so quickly, and he's saying, "Oh, here comes." I can tell my friend Rezi is setting up for the final blow. It is going to come any second now, and then you dart in, and Rezi turns to respond to you, and you make it look like you're going to go for him, and so he sidesteps out of the way, but you're really following his weapon. And you crack down the quarterstaff on his hand, and the weapon goes flying to the ground, and you kick it off the stage, and then point the quarterstaff at his chest. And he holds up his hands in surrender, and the crowd goes crazy. And Mama comes up and he says, I can honestly say I have never seen a better fight between a dwarf and Rezi. That was the only fight I've ever seen between dwarf and Rezi. But that is the one that will set the stage for the next time. Oh, you should have traveled with us. Oh, we could make quite a show out of this. It would be fantastic, no?
As appealing as it is, I have my obligations.
Of course. And but before I forget, here is you. And he hands you a potion of Alether.
Yay!
That he's made himself. It's a little stronger. It's a instead of giving you the 10 temporary hit points, it will give you 15 temporary hit points. It is a Mamba potion of Alether, and it is fantastic. All right, so the rest of the night, Mamba now settles the crowd down and says he's going to put on a play. He starts telling the story of how he was present. He was present through the stars, which told him of the real thing that happened out in the northern country where the lone wolf had fallen. You're a bit surprised that the news has already traveled this quickly.
Right.
But Mamba he becomes the narrator for a play which is called the Brave Kylord of Summerlin, and it goes on an account of lone wolves trekking into Achaia after the vicious Vanatar the traitor. And in this version, he or she finds Vanatar, and they clash, and in a great show of magic, Vanatar he pulls the entire fortress of Achaia into the lower planes of hell, and where then Lone Wolf continues to strike at all the forces of evil, and the play is sort of headed towards this idea that like Lone Wolf will come back one day. She
Right.
will emerge, and it is a hopeful kind of ending. Like she strikes down Vanatar, she's striking down the dark god Nar, and it's a very triumphant play. Give me a perception roll.
Ah. 21.
That's enough. During the performance, you notice something very odd. Not only is one of the actors using a real sword, but is a type of sword only issued to officers of the Summerlending Cavalry.
Okay, yeah, that's very odd.
The play ends momentarily, and you watch that actor buckle the sword to his belt and make off towards one of the wagons.
She's probably going to head that direction then.
Okay, you start walking that direction, and the man sees you approaching and stops and says, wipes some sweat from his brow and says, "Did you enjoy the show then? Come to get an autograph?"
It's been quite the entertainment. I couldn't help but noticing your weapon of choice, however.
Oh, this what about it? A fine blade, yes?
Yes. Dare I ask why you were using a real weapon in a play? The risk to your compatriots is very high.
Oh, well, it is just a matter of my own prowess being good enough to not hurt anybody. A matter of trust. They trust me.
Is she getting, like, any weird shifty vibes off of him?
Give an insight roll.
16.
He seems nervous. Yeah, he definitely seems nervous about you asking this. You notice he's sweating again.
Still seems like quite a risk when you can't control the actions of your fellow thespians. What would happen if they were to slip and fall on your blade?
He says, let's give a quick, let me make a roll for him. He takes a deep breath and says, there must be something more interesting. Sorry, I slipped into mama there. There must be something more interesting for you to talk about than the sword.
He's trying to avoid the question or deflect or something?
It sounds like it.
No, I'm pretty sure I'm interested in the sword. Where did you happen upon this?
And suddenly he dashes.
Right.
For the darkness of the perimeter wagons.
I'm a dwarf. I'm slower. I don't think I can keep up with them.
Are you going to try to give chase, or are you just letting him go?
No, I should probably follow, see where he goes.
Okay. Yes, he does. You are slower than him.
Are we making the assumption that she put her armor back on after the fight?
No.
Damn.
No, probably it'd be uncomfortable to wear all night. You charge after him as fast as you can, and peer about in the gloom of the camp perimeter. Make a this would be like an insight check.
Okay. $23.
Okay. You kind of look around. It'd actually be an investigation, maybe more, but that's still going to be high enough, I'm sure. You decide that the actor can only be in one of two places. There's a large caravan to your left, or a smaller coach to your right?
I'll look at the smaller one and use my innate seer augury ability to see if he went that way.
Okay, so yeah, you get a moment here for augury. I think what does it tell you again? You can ask like
Yes,
a
no
question.
questions, yeah.
Yes, no question on your augury. All right, and those who are wondering, yes, this is outside of the paladin abilities, but because of her background as with some fortune telling, she's retained kind of some of the sixth sense that Lone Wolf had.
Very much weaker though.
Very much weaker, yes. She can only basically use augury 4 times a day, and it gets worse the more she uses it. So ask your question.
Is this the way the man I was chasing went?
It flashes back no.
Alright, then I'll go the other way.
All right. In the plush, candlelit interior of the caravan, you find the actor cowering beneath a blanket in the far corner. It's pretty obvious.
You do realize running is most suspicious.
Ah! That's how he answers.
Okay.
Because he didn't know you came in the room. He's like cowering beneath this blanket.
Alright, she'll drag the blanket off with her boot, like, you know.
He's holding his hands up, but he says, I bought the sword in Eschner, he says, from the innkeeper of the Pick and Shuffle Tavern. He kind of thrusts the sword at you. He says, if it is your sword I have unwittingly bought, I am truly sorry. Here, please take it.
No, it is not mine. What? But it is strange to see such a sword away from its knights.
In fact, as you look at the sword and are saying this, you suddenly trail off, because not only is this a Summerlending cavalry sword, but there is an inscription on the blade, and it says Captain Ramir Duval, King's Guard Regiment.
Oh, is this the guy that died trying to protect Lone Wolf? No.
This is Captain Duval was the leader of the first troop.
Oh, that's right.
That Pelethar sent out on your mission. It's basically he's the man that you're trying to find.
Okay. Then yeah, my god, I know who owns the sword.
Then by all means, you return it to him, no questions asked. It was I don't even need the money back. Just take it. I did not mean to cause any trouble.
And you say you bought it from the innkeeper?
The Pick and Shovel Tavern, the innkeeper there in Eschner. I'm going to shoot us back to the maps.
Right.
Eschner is there on the map, kind of along the border of the Machen Range, and right at the edge of Ruinon Forest.
Well, then we have our clue as to where our regiment disappeared.
The sword, you can see the Machen Gorge.
Yeah,
here.
to the south there, yeah.
And Weissmuller is pointing that out. What was I going to say? The sword is a long sword, but it is a +1 long sword.
Long swords are D6?
I believe they're D8. Let me see. So you would call this Captain Duval's sword. It is a D8. It can be held in both hands for a D10. And it is +1.
Ooh.
So if you wield it one-handed, you'll get your +3. Which is pretty awesome.
Yes, that's actually very, very good.
All right. You return to the Troubadour stage in time for a meal that has been prepared by your hosts. The steaming broth smells most appetizing.
Okay.
You gonna eat?
Yeah, she's gotta eat. I'm just, food in this game. I
like how every time food is a thing, yeah, it's like potentially deadly. Okay, so you eat. And the food is delicious.
Yay!
You eat your fill and then make preparations for a good night's sleep. At dawn, you and your company bid farewell to the traveling players and continue on your mission to Ruinon. We're going to make a fate die.
Oh boy. All right. $18.
Nice. Well, actually, that's low.
It's very low.
But it doesn't matter because fate dice are fate dice. They just create other things. After journeying through the After journeying through the rich wheat fields, not the rich, blah blah. The rich wheat fields of southern Summerlin, the view that lies before you now looks especially bleak and colorless. The landscape turns flat and desolate, only relieved here and there by a ragged copse of stunted firs or a mound of broken earth. You have entered the wildlands south of the pass of Moitora, and out here the food situation is untenable. There's no hunting. During this afternoon, storm clouds gather above the peaks of the Dern Crag Mountains to the west, and the roll of distant thunder warns of imminent rain. It is early evening when your scouts find the ruins of an old temple, less than a mile from the highway. And Kitty says, I've scouted out the temple. I haven't seen anything unusual. We could potentially camp there for the night, or we could keep going.
How bad does the rain cloud look?
Let's see. It's gonna be raining. You don't know how long, but it's gonna rain heavily.
Any shelter in a storm, isn't that the saying?
And Kitty says, I don't know. I don't listen to sayings. Maybe that's a Boreas thing. She said, we camping?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. The ruins are overgrown with weeds and roots, but you can make out the shape of the inner sanctum of the temple quite distinctly. The huge marble canopy is still intact and will serve as excellent shelter from the storm. As you tie your horse to a withered shrub, you make a perception roll.
16.
A sudden flash of lightning illuminates two men hiding beneath the canopy in this shelter. They are dressed in long black robes.
Do they know that I've seen them?
You don't know.
Any port and storm, a sailor? Yeah, okay, that makes sense. I was like, this sounds somewhat familiar. You over there. Who are you? Why are you here?
There's no response. And in the next flash of lightning, you see the men have not moved.
I wonder if they're statues. She'll call over like a group and go investigate.
All right, Katie comes to your side and she's like, I swear I didn't see them before. And you guys are going in?
We're going in. I'm expecting to be attacked, so.
All right, so you all draw your weapons and advance on the strangers. As soon as you come into the canopy, the hooded men raise their hands and stand up. One of them drops a small earthenware flask full of a clear liquid, and it shatters on the hard marble floor.
Does it have a smell, or is it like a smoke bomb? What's going on?
No, nothing happens with that. But you're kind of glancing around at them. You notice that around their necks, they're wearing a curious symbol.
Not
And
something she recognizes?
I'm gonna pull that up. Your background was sage, right?
Yeah, I've got some history.
Okay, yeah, I'd say this is gonna be a history roll.
17?
17 is just enough to recognize it. You recognize this symbol as the symbols of a holy order known as the Redeemers, a silent order of pilgrims devoted to a lifetime of prayer and healing. They take a vow of silence.
That would explain why they haven't called back. Um, she'll still keep her sword drawn, but say, I recognize your order and understand you cannot speak. You can gesture, no?
And the one nods.
Are you from around here?
They both sort of shrug and give like a sweeping, wave of their arm and hand. You kind of think it's saying like, we're from, everywhere. We
Right.
travel.
Have you seen anything strange in the vicinity? We are hunting bandits and looking for our lost legion.
The men, or the two men, look at each other and then at you and shake their heads.
Okay.
They indicate, like, kind of with more gestures, like they're pointing at different areas, and they're sort of they go to their own. There's a pack in here, and you see they're pulling out bedrolls.
Okay.
And they're pointing to different spaces where you see your men could take shelter from the storm.
Okay. Then she'll nod and say, we'll leave you be, and we'll be out of your hair in the morning.
And they nod and smile and go back to just their whatever they were doing, which seemed to be prayer. So because they put their hands together and lower their heads and are just stay still.
Okay. Okay, well, let the guards know that there are a pair of priests from the order of, what was it called?
The Redeemers.
The Redeemers.
Yeah, so the men and Weissmuller is asking if the Redeemers are devoted to Isher. I know this question has come up before. Let me see. I want to say I can find this. This was asked about. I don't think that much was ever said about them. Let's see. I'm just checking to look really quick. I think they're connected with the Herbalish. I'm reading that here. But yeah, it doesn't really say that they were dedicated to Isher. We know they were Drodaran at first. Now we're getting really esoteric though. But I think Ofex is right. I think they were former center druids. They were part of the Herbalish. So anyway, oh yes, actually that jogged my memory. So you would know this, Shard, because you succeeded at your history roll. The Redeemers used to be a member of an order called the Center Druids. The Druids were like plague makers, and they almost wiped out all life on Magnemund with a like a biological warfare, basically fantasy biological warfare.
Whoops.
And the Redeemers are when they were defeated, the former members of their order converted into the Redeemers as penance, and this wasn't everybody. A lot of the Senators had to be killed, and there's rumors still that some exist in exile, but some of them decided to take vows of silence and to press that on their ancestors as well.
Descendants.
Yeah, their descendants, and descendants. Sorry, not ancestors.
Wrong way.
Yeah, they wish they could have pressed it on their ancestors. They pressed it on their descendants, and others over time have taken up the same vows, and they teach and are masters of the healing arts. All right, you're hungry tonight. You're gonna need some food. I imagine you have some rations with you.
I mean, that would be very stupid to go out on a quest without taking some dried rations.
So we're going to say you eat some of your rations here. Right. It is the middle of the night when you are awoken by the anxious shouts of the night guard. Awake! Awake! We're under attack!
Okay.
All right, what are you doing? I imagine you weren't sleeping in armor.
Probably not. So she'll roll to her feet and grab her sword and shield, though.
Okay, and you are kind of looking around. Now, do dwarves have dark vision?
Yes.
Okay, so you can see through the rain, the silhouettes of horsemen circling the ruins. An arrow suddenly whistles through the darkness, and your lookout screams and falls to his knees, the arrow in his chest. The men are looking for you to give them orders.
All right. She'll yell, "To arms! We are surrounded."
Do you have any marching orders for them, or
marching orders? Bring them down.
All right. So the Rangers grab swords and shields. Are you going for your armor? Are you staying as you are?
She will. Also, was I able to get any health back at all, or was this at all restful or not?
Oh, you didn't actually take any damage from Rezzy's spells.
Not permanent? Okay.
No. That was just, those were all, what do they call it? Non-lethal right. Damage. Yeah. Okay. That recovered at the end of combat.
1 second. Let me look something up.
Sure. Yeah, the center druids and the history of the Redeemers is actually really interesting, and I'd forgotten there was a great thread about it over at Project Aeon, actually. A lot of spoilers, so I won't necessarily post. I mean, I can put it on the. I can post it if people want me to, but there are a lot of spoilers, so I don't know if you want to click on it. If you haven't read the books.
Right. She doesn't have to waste time getting her armor, because she's going to cast Shield of Faith on herself.
Okay.
Which gives her a +2. So with her shield, she's at 17 AC at the moment. Without armor.
So you cast shield of is it Shield of Faith?
Yeah.
You cast your Shield of Faith, and watch as two of your rangers run forward to block the advance of a dozen warriors who are trying to clamber across the broken pillars and enter the area where you are. They start fighting them off. And you're about to move forward when the sound of metal-shod boots on stone makes you spin around. another warrior has snuck into the temple behind you.
Okay.
And seeing you, he quickens his pace. A flash of lightning shows red on his sword as he lifts it, and blood splatters off of it. Undoubtedly, the blood of one of your rangers out in the storm.
Right.
As he comes at you. So this is combat.
Oh, initiative rolls. 17.
He did not get a 17. I think he got like 7. So yeah, you're gonna go first here. You spotted him. You saw him.
Okay. Can I take a quick minute break here to?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. I need to refill my water. My throat is wrecked.
Yeah. No, sorry about that.
Sorry. I'll be right back.
So, you are in combat with a bandit, or did I say bandit? Let's see. You don't know if he's a bandit.
Well,
he's a warrior, rather.
Warrior. Yeah.
You're assuming bandit. And he's got a long sword in one hand and a short sword in the other.
What's the attack roll for the long sword that I've got? Is it strength?
Actually, he's probably holding the long sword with both hands. Yep, he's holding the long sword with both hands. Never mind. Say that again?
Is the long sword strength or dex?
That is strength.
Okay.
You're going to go first.
Yep. 16?
Oh, he has... You almost hit him, but you strike him good. But he's wearing armor, it turns out, under his leathers.
Okay.
And you cut through his clothing and see splint meal underneath.
Okay.
Is that your turn?
Yeah, I only have one action until next level.
Okay. He is going to try to strike you. You said 17 for you?
Yeah.
Man, you guys are just batting at each other. He does the same thing to you because you're clearly not wearing armor. And he just laughs as you hit his armor and stabs forward. And then his eyes go up in surprise.
He's like, wait, what?
As the blade seems to just run off of you. Like rain on a slick pavement. It just slides off.
Oh, shield of faith.
And then he spins around with a massive cut that this time gets through to you.
Okay.
And deals not very much damage. It barely gets through. It deals 4 slashing damage.
Okay.
So he's kind of just perturbed that he can't get this off on you. It's your turn.
I rolled an 18 to hit that time.
Oh yeah, this time you get him.
Okay, so 1d8 plus 3 technically. Ooh, I rolled an 8. 11.
Oh, nice.
11 damage.
Okay. So this time, forewarned about his armor, you kind of you aim for his lower half instead and strike a deep gash on his leg. And he keeps up the fight though. He's gonna just try to power through your shield. But his first blow literally just bounces off, and his second blow does the same. And he's starting to look a little concerned. It's your turn.
What shard strength bonus?
Shard strength bonus. What is your strength?
Plus 4.
Yeah, because what's your...
It's a 19.
Yeah, 19. Okay.
No, 11 was right for the damage. The damage is just, it's a 1d8 plus 1, and then she gets the plus 2 because of her specialty.
Plus your strength.
Oh, I do plus the strength?
Yeah.
Oh, duh.
Yep, you get your strength mod.
Oh, that's right, because it's a finesse, kind of a thing, isn't it? She's proficient.
Well, finesse, it's not about finesse. It's just strength weapons, add your strength mod, and ranged weapons or finesse weapons, add your dex mod.
Okay.
Yeah. So it doesn't matter.
Then it was 15 damage, not 11.
Nice. So yeah, you put the power behind your blow. You also get your strength mod to your attack, to your 2 hit.
Yeah, I added that.
Okay, cool. So
There we go.
yeah.
Okay.
So roll again.
Rolling again. I rolled a 19, so I definitely hit him.
Oh yeah.
Didn't hit him nearly as hard that time. 10 damage.
Oof. He doesn't like it though. He can't seem to get through to you, so you just keep wailing on him. And you added your +4 this time?
Yes.
All right. Then he's gonna try to grab you and throw you to the ground suddenly.
Okay.
He actually lets you cut his arm, and it's in a bid to grab you and knock you off balance. So make a quick. He's gonna use. You can use athletics or acrobatics to oppose this.
Athletics.
Or is it athletics or escape artist? Do they have escape artist?
No, that is definitely Pathfinder.
Yeah, it's Pathfinder. Okay. Athletics. He's using athletics as well. Oh, he rolled good.
22.
He rolled a 21.
Whoa!
Wow.
Holy shit.
Okay.
I have a
So-
+6 to athletics, so.
That's amazing. So he grabs you and just tries to shove you down to the ground. And for a moment, you start to go down, but then with sheer strength, you just push him back off. He's gonna take one swing at you as he shoves back, but it says disadvantage because he did not expect to be shoved back, and he misses because of that.
Okay.
All right, it's your turn again.
Let's try and take him down. Another 17 to hit.
Yeah, that just hits. You
Yep.
just press in.
Alright. 13 this time.
Oof. He is not looking great. Around you, you can hear the sounds of your men fighting and shouts. You can hear people dying. You don't know if it's him or if it's your people or if it's his people. But he switches this long sword to one hand, draws free a short sword, and is coming at you in a flurry of blows, just yelling curses and saying he's yelling things in a harsh, guttural tongue.
Is it Giak?
It's not Giak.
Okay.
And you don't recognize it exactly. But he switches at first, but then he switches to Summerlin tongue, and he's saying that the wave will come and wash over your country. They will pull down your people.
Does that
and
remind her
none
of
shall be
the
left
letter
alive.
she got from the mysterious
I
document?
don't know, does it?
A little bit.
He's swinging at you. He misses all 3 goes.
Oh my
Wow.
gosh.
All right, he's just not getting this off.
I rolled another 19.
Yep.
12.
Oof. You actually get you get your longsword in under his armor here and open up a deep cut on his side. You think you've pretty much injured him, like he's not recovering from this.
Mm-hmm.
But he is still coming. He's going to try to make one final blow. One last time he comes at you with a flurry of weapons. And literally rolled on his 3 attacks, 1, 2, and 3.
That's amazing.
He's weak. He's fainting. He goes down to 1 knee, and you're gonna get advantage on this strike.
Okay. Just hit it with him another 17 again. Wow.
All right.
I didn't roll a 17 that time.
Make a damage roll.
Another 12.
He weakly you aim a blow at his head, but he weakly holds up his sword to block it, and your blade cracks against his. You're using Captain Duvall's sword,
Yeah.
right? for a minute they ring out and vibrate as his sword blocks yours, but Captain Duvall's blade is a better blade, and it cuts through it and chops off basically half of his face, and he falls down dead.
Nice. Then she's gonna flick the blood off her blade, turn around, and see if there's somebody nearby she can help.
All around you, the ruins echo to the clash of weapons and the screech of battle cries. These armor-clad horsemen are no ordinary bandit clan. They are fighting with a discipline and skill unheard of amongst the lowly outlaws of the wildlands. You step over the dead warrior and call about you for your men. Only a handful respond and come out of the gloom. The enemy, one of them is Kitty, and another one you're happy to see is I can't, Soliam. There we go, Soliam. And Soliam says he's bleeding from a deep cut in his head, but or it looks like a deep cut. It's superficial.
It's a head wound. Yeah, they bleed.
Yeah, it's a head wound though, but it bleeds bad. And he is he says the enemy have surrounded our horses.
So we cannot flee.
We have to push back and try to save the horses. If we lose those, we're gone for.
To the mounts then, gentlemen. And she starts off.
So you're gonna lead a charge?
Pretty much.
All right. Make a. Oh, this will be interesting. You're running and you have no armor on, right?
Nope.
All right. So you run, just your muscled arms, just completely revealed in the without your armor on. You're gripping your long sword. You're covered in blood from the man that you just killed, and you charge into the darkness. Make an intimidation roll.
Ooh. Intimidation. Oh, I actually have a decent thing for that. I rolled a nat 20!
Oh, wow. Yeah, your charge, it completely breaks the enemy line. They falter and flee back before your advance. However, by the time you've reached the temple perimeter, only 11 of your horses remain. The others have vanished.
Okay. How many men do we still have?
You have about 15 of your men were killed. So there are 35 of you left. But there's only 11 horses. One of them is going to be yours.
Slightly problematic, yeah.
Do you want to meet with your two leaders?
Yeah, let's confer.
All right. So Kitty and Solayam both tell you that I'm going to call them Sol. Kitty and Sol, they tell you that they think it's pointless to try to get everyone on foot. You'll go way too slow. You didn't bring provisions for that many men moving that slowly. They think that maybe it's best to send 10 rangers on and the rest back to Summerlin to report what has happened.
Right. Because such a well-armored and equipped force this far out is unheard of, so they should be aware that there's something stirring.
Right.
Is there any, like, obvious insignia on these guys that they could take and to, like, show and be like, hey, this is what we ran into? Like, is there armor special or their weapons?
That's a good question. Make a perception roll.
9?
You don't see anything that seems unusual. You do a quick search of the bodies nearest at hand, especially the man that you took down. But aside from, you guys find a total of 20 crowns. Mm-hmm. So you can... Oh, and you should start the game with some crowns. Go ahead. Let's backtrack that real fast. You are going to have Roll a d10.
5?
You started this game with 15 crowns.
15? Okay.
Yeah. You find...
So 35 now?
Yeah, 35. Unless you wish to send the men back with those.
We may need it going forward.
Okay. In that case, you decide, you choose your 10 rangers. Are you sending either Kitty or Soul with them, or are you keeping them at hand?
I'll send Soul back, and I'll keep Kitty.
All right. So Soul says that he will, he'll ride fast. He'll lead these men back home safely.
Yeah, he knows the terrain the best, so.
And he says, but you be safe as well. He rides off, and as the gloomy light of dawn gradually fills the sky, you and your chosen companions bid a sad farewell to those who must march back on foot. All right, you're gonna make a fate die.
Okay. $42.
42? Okay. You have been riding for over 4 hours when you see a flock of birds. They're black, very large, and they're swooping around the brow of a distant ridge.
Do they look like carrion birds?
You can make a survival check real quick. Or nature check.
I am probably not sure. I rolled a 6. I don't know the local flora and fauna.
I'll give you advantage on this.
16.
Okay. Yes. Only because you specifically asked if they were carrion birds, because they are. Mm-hmm. They are carrion crows, a despicable breed of wildland scavengers. Wherever a creature lies dead in the wastelands, you can be sure to find a host of these loathsome predators.
My fear is that... I mean, that's clearly another potential slaughtering ground from these guys. Perhaps that is... We will learn more about our... I have a bad feeling about, like, what happened to our... the first group.
Kitty asks, you think that is the first group?
It very well might be. We will not know until we go check. So, yeah, we'll go investigate.
All right, so you reach the top of the ridge and see this lovely illustration here.
Yep.
All right. A gruesome sight meets you. The bodies of men and horses lie scattered across the shallow valley beyond, their bones picked clean by scavenging crows. You hear the gasps of horror as your men recognize the armor and tattered white uniforms of the skeletons, for they were once your countrymen, the summer-lending guards of the king's cavalry. They must have died in battle, for the corpses of bandit warriors lie entwined amongst them. 40 brave soldiers, nearly half of the squadron that left Home Guard 1 month ago, now lie before you. And it is with heavy heart that Kitty comes to you and says, we should bury them.
Yeah, as a paladin, it would be the right thing to do. It's a waste of time,
right.
But yeah.
You're gonna get a inspiration point, a kai point for staying to bury the men.
Okay.
That's like an inspiration die. So, for those who don't remember, inspiration die or fate die, not fate die. Sorry, kai dice as we're calling him here. Are used. You can use them to re-roll any die roll that you made.
You may want to let them know that I took the lucky feat, but it's our lucky feat.
Oh, you did take lucky feat. Okay. So in D&D 5, if at certain levels you get the option to either bump 1 stat up by 2, or 2 stats up by 1, or to ignore that and take a feat. And feats are special powers that your characters can get. You trade off the just raw power of a ability score bump for something special and unique. And there is a feat called Lucky in D&D 5, which is of everything in D&D 5, most things are really balanced, but Lucky is not balanced. And I don't like Lucky because it basically gets rid of the inspiration system and just gives somebody the ability to re-roll 3 dice a day, which is a lot. So we've changed it. We've made it akin to the halfling's lucky feat, which is the first time they roll a 1, they get to re-roll that die. If they roll a 1 again, they have to keep it. But basically, it keeps us away from critical failures if you take the lucky feat. So that's our version of it, and it sounds like Shard has that.
Yep.
So, okay, so you guys said about the grisly task of burial, and as you ride away from the Valley of Death, you are comforted only by the knowledge that Captain Duvall was not amongst those you buried.
All of our men are not accounted for. Can we try and scout and see if we can see tracks leading away from this field?
Oh, absolutely. Make a perception check or a survival check.
Either way, it's only +2. 19 though, yay.
Oh, 19, very good. Yes, the signs around here are completely muddled. I mean, you can tell that a battle, of course, took place. No surprise there. You can tell that the ones who attacked came from the south. So they were set upon. It looks like a large number of what you're guessing were bandits approached from the south. I'll put us back on the map here. You're roughly here right now, and so you can tell that the tracks came from the southerly direction. They didn't come out from. They didn't come from the west over the Dern Crags, or north back from the highway. They didn't come from over the wildlands. They definitely came up the road from the south. You guys continue to ride that direction until you reach a junction. And you've officially left the wildlands behind. You're at this main junction here. The tracks did not tell you which way the raiders came from, but there is south to Ruinon, which is 60 miles. A large signpost here tells you that. Or you can go 40 miles east to Eschner.
Right. The question is it more important to try and find our missing men or to trace down the people that killed them?
Right, it's a good question. Your kitty tells you that south will lead you through the Ruinon Forest. She says, I guess if ever, she says, I don't know what Sol would say if he were here, but I've always associated forests with bandits myself.
Yes, it's prime ambush territory.
She says, but then again, with just 10 of us, we can also use the cover to our advantage. I don't know if you've told her about the sword
she's probably seen her wielding it because, in the fight she was using it, and she's known for, using a battle axe. So that was probably very obviously a difference.
So she will definitely, she'll know that. I mean, she'll understand why you might want to go to Eschner, though, and she'll sort of hold up her hands, and go like, well, we have a lead that takes us to Eschner, but it's hard to know if there's banditry going on to the south, whether we should pursue that too. She says our objective is to investigate the shipments from Nuenon. That's to the south. But our other objective is also to find out what happened to the other crew. And that would seem to be to the east.
Right.
You've also healed up a little bit in this time. You guys have had some time to heal.
Oh, then she only lost 4 HP, so she's probably full again.
Oh, you're at full.
Yeah, that was a surprisingly nice battle. Like, after Lone Wolf's, like, every time she got hit, she just, like, God. Every time took damage. It's nice to be a tank, let me tell you.
Yeah, you definitely deal less damage without the mind blast and the double attack and all that.
Yeah, no, I do much less damage, but I'm much harder to hit, so. Lone Wolf was very squishy. Yeah, she was. I'm trying to decide if, like, mission trumps loyalty to, like, men.
Well, what would your character feel?
That's what I'm trying to decide. Because these people, like, have, like, adopted her. You know, she's gained their trust after being in exile from her own people. Yes. So she does have some serious, like, loyalty to them. And the men will follow her either way. I don't think they'll, like, grumble about, like, trying to figure out what happened to their compatriots after seeing, like, half of them being murdered.
So,
I'm leaning towards Eschner.
All right. East it is. It is noon then on the following day when you reach the outskirts of Eschner. To the south, the wooded hills gradually ascend towards the magnificent snow-capped peaks of the Makan Range. It is a beautiful sight, one of stark contrast to the squalor of Eschner and the desolate wildlands to the north. You ride along the only street in this dilapidated town and eventually come to a large tavern called the Pick and Shovel.
Yep, that's familiar.
Do you wish to go in?
Yeah, she's gonna look for the innkeeper.
Okay. Loading for a moment here. Hold on. All right. Your men tether their horses and follow you into the tavern, Kitty right at your side. An old woman stands behind the bar, her face taut and lined, as if she's constantly suffering from pain. She wears men's clothes, a shirt and checkered trousers. The tavern's empty, but the tables are covered with ale mugs, many half full of beer.
Interesting. Be you the innkeeper?
The woman suddenly falls to the floor.
Whoa. Okay.
And behind you, one of your rangers shouts, "Ambush!" But it's cut off as you hear a vzz, and you turn to see a razor-sharp disc of metal whistle down from the balcony above and sink into his chest.
Holy shit.
Then suddenly the tavern is full of bandits, pouring in through windows and doors. Three are charging straight at you, their battle cries loud and savage in that strange language you heard before. Kitty jumps in front of you, and two of them lose their heads in a single blow.
Nice.
The third bandit reaches you before the bodies of the others have fallen to the floor.
Okay.
And you guys are fighting.
All right. Initiative?
Initiatives.
13 for Shard.
Okay. And he got I think he got maybe the same, actually. Let me take a look. Pulling up his stats. He got a nope. He got an 11. So you're gonna go first.
Okay.
He is a dark-skinned warrior coming at you with a spear.
Let me check something real quick. I have to print out all of her spells. Like, this is ridiculous.
Do you know which spell you want to use?
I want to double check.
Okay.
Because I think all of the spells she has are like concentration.
A lot of the paladin spells are. Let's see.
Okay, yeah, she's gonna cast Thunderous Smite on herself, which is
Okay.
a minute concentration.
Nice. All right. So this is the one I think which when you next strike, it like booms out.
It's the first time I hit with a melee weapon.
They take like concussive damage.
Yeah, it's like 2d6 thunder damage, and they get
And
pushed
of
10
course-
feet away if they fail a strength save. Yeah.
Sweet. And be knocked prone. Damn. All right. Go for it. It's a bonus action to cast that.
Oh, sweet. So then I get to try and hit him too.
Yeah.
Now, is it only good for like one hit?
Yes.
Okay. $19 to hit.
Oh yeah. There is a. Everybody in the tavern suddenly just like staggers for a minute as this thunderous boom just echoes out across it. Kitty, who's standing right next to you, is like, "God damn! Why you warn me next time?" And he makes a strength save. He does not make his strength save, so
He's gonna get thrown back after I do
and be
a ton of
and be
damage.
knocked prone.
All right. And just my d6s. $19 damage.
19 damage.
I didn't roll too well on
Damn.
those. I rolled a 3 and a 1.
He's gonna have to spend some time standing up. So you have a moment here. I don't know if you want to throw yourself for cover, if you want to try to like get out of here, or what.
Is the door blocked?
You'd have to push through. But you could get. I mean, you'll take some attacks of opportunity. But
I
you
mean,
could
she
get
doesn't
through
want to
the
leave her
door.
men behind. It was more like, can we edge towards the door and like get out into the open at all, or?
You could go for it and call for your men to follow you.
Mila, I can't shoot him. I'd have to like drop my weapon to pull my gun out, and the gun is like, I don't.
You've I'm gonna say you've yeah, I mean you are in the middle of like yeah, for range combat you'd be let's see, does the gun, will I give the gun disadvantage on range combat? I'm gonna say one nice thing about the musket is it doesn't take disadvantage if you're within 5 feet of somebody,
Okay.
unlike bows and arrows and stuff like that. Like bows and arrows, just for those who don't know, if you're in D&D 5 and you make a ranged attack, whether it's magic or whatever, and you're right next to somebody, it's disadvantage. But because of the way firearms work, I'm gonna say they do not get that.
Well, because they get the boost right out of the gun barrel, where arrows kind of gain momentum a little bit.
Right, and magic you have to cast
Yeah.
with hand gestures and all sorts of stuff. So, yep. So you could, if you could try to flee and call to your men, you could, like basically drop your sword right next to you, pull your musket, and in one action blow somebody away with it. Your call.
How many men are in the building now?
There's your 10 rangers.
Uh-huh.
And there are about 14 bandits. Two of those are dead, I guess. There's 12 bandits.
Right off the bat. I mean, I think we pretty much have to hold and just kill them.
Try to kill them all?
Yeah.
Okay. Then you hold your spot as the guy gets up and growls and rushes at you. He's sort of just charging in, not paying any attention if he gets caught or not. What's your AC now?
18. Oop, I heard myself again.
Yeah, that happened again, that weird sound thing. 18. All right. He is going to hit you for 3 plus 3 plus 3. He hits you for 6 with his first spear thrust. And then he crits on his second.
Okay.
Doesn't roll as well as he could, but he does get 11 damage on that.
Okay.
So yeah, he comes in, kind of you're trying to dodge his first blow. You're surprised that he's just like rushing in under your, not caring about your attacks, and then suddenly you feel a sharp pain as he stabs the bottom of his spear into your foot. And you see that there's a sharp end on that side too. So it's like a double-ended spear. You didn't notice that before. All right, it's your turn.
I'm gonna try and murder him.
To answer your question, Ofex, this is the same fight from before because she chose to finish it.
19 to hit.
Yeah, you hit. You actually get advantage on this because he's not caring if you strike him or not.
Well, that was the better one. Just in case I crit.
Exactly, just in case you crit.
14.
14 damage?
Yep.
Nice. Okay, so yeah, you're just he stabs into your foot and twists, and you just butt him away with your axe and slice at him as he goes.
You mean with my shield and then stab him with the sword?
I forgot you have a shield. Yeah. So you're not using your axe then.
No,
okay.
it's the shield and sword.
Oh, nice. You bat him away with your shield and then stab at him with the sword. And he's quickly right back up on you. You're cutting him again, which is where some of the damage comes from. But he doesn't seem to mind. He's kind of like doing this all or nothing thing. And you guys are kind of moving across the floor as you fight. You're bumping into other bandits as you go. One of them is going to take a stab at you, and hit for an extra 5 damage.
Okay.
This guy's still coming. This other bandit, the one that you're actually fighting with the spear, he crits again.
Oh my god.
And this time he gets 13 damage.
Okay.
And it's your turn. You're going to get advantage on striking him.
Question. Is lay on hands in action?
I believe it is. Let me see. Yeah, how's your health doing? 2 crits.
7 HP.
Oof, wow. Yeah, you feel a pain in your back as one of these other bandits stabs you with a dagger. And Kitty or somebody, you can't quite tell, is there like knocking them away. But as you're turning back, the spear man is taking advantage of your distraction. And he drives his spear like in an overhand stab down with both hands into your shoulder blade. And lay on hands is a action.
I'm gonna have to heal myself using that, yeah.
Okay. And as you kind of you're pulling back, I mean, you can try to like get into the crowd if you want. Give yourself some respite, or leap over a table, or jump behind the bar.
Yeah, it's hard to, because there's no, like, we're doing theater of the mind rather than
Right.
laid out, so,
Yeah, I'm kind of presenting opportunities as they arise. So you're not missing anything. I'll tell you if there's something you can do. And of course, if you have questions like, hey, is there a bar I can jump behind, you can always ask.
right.
But in this case, I'm saying, like, you suddenly see a path to the bar.
Would it raise, like, opportunities of attack if I head that way, or?
Right now, you've pulled free of the guy's weapon. You you can get there and lay hands on yourself. No, I'm gonna say in the press of people, it's too complicated for him to try to strike at you again.
All right, let's do it.
So you rush over there as a ranger sort of like takes your place to fight this guy, and you hear noises coming from behind you. You don't know if it's the ranger dying or if it's this spearman getting attacked, but you leap over the bar and crash down behind it onto the body of the dead innkeeper, and you quickly lay hands on yourself and channel some healing into you. And then a hand suddenly grabs you, and you look over to see Kitty, and she's badly injured. And she says, "We cannot win this fight." She says, "We have to flee."
She'll nod and command a retreat.
You call out the retreat, and it's like there's no response to your call. It's just pandemonium all around you. But Kitty pops her head out from the bar and sees the open door to the tavern, and she ducks back down and says, "Okay, this is our chance. We can make a dash for the door."
Do it.
She says, "Together."
All right, we're going.
All right, you guys leap over the bar and both run. You're both gonna have to make how do I want to do this? Let's make a acrobatics check. Let's see if you can just acrobatics or athletics. So I want to have it's a sprint, really.
I mean, she's a short dwarf, so it'd be more athletics with like.
You guys are sprinting. Let's make athletics checks.
$14.
14. Okay. You are less than 5 feet from the door when a bandit warrior suddenly comes rushing in. You see the serrated tip of his halberd sinking towards your chest, and it's about to hit you when Kitty throws herself in front of you. And you watch in horror as the cold steel sinks instead into her.
Well, crap.
And she grabs the man's arms and like keeps him held to her and says, "Run, Shard, get out of here."
Damn it. And it looks like all my men are cut down now.
Yeah, or die.
God damn it. Well, that went really well.
So, we're nearly at a good stopping point for today. But let's get on just a little bit longer here. We'll bring you there. You reach the door and make your escape. The land behind the cavern is steep and heavily forested. No one is come to follow you out of the tavern, but except for two bandits.
Cool.
They're sprinting at you. So you can either I don't know if you want to stay and fight them. Otherwise, there's the forest, or you can run. You could like run just straight through the forest, or you could like run into the forest and then try to like change direction, see if you can like use
Lose
the
them.
trees to hide you. Yeah.
See if we can lose them.
Okay. You dart into the dense foliage, and
Here we are with the foliage again.
the foliage, yes, it's crunchy under your feet. We're gonna go ahead and let's make a perception check. Do it with disadvantage because you're running.
Well, that's a 9.
So you fail to notice a drop. As you turn direction, there is a steep drop in front of you, and you tumble down it noisily, crashing onto a wide forest track below. Less than 10 feet away kneels a bandit, examining the hoof of his horse and prizing out a sharp stone from the animal's shoe with a large, long, curved dagger. The noise of your fall alerts him, and he turns with his weapon raised for attack.
Initiative?
Yeah.
19.
All right. He rolled a 5.
I got him off guard.
Yeah, he's totally off guard. All right. You make the first blow here.
15.
15 is going to hit. So, yeah. You just get up and charge at him immediately with the captain's sword.
13 damage.
Nice. Okay. He's coming at you with a dagger in one hand that he was using for the for prying out the stones, and then he unlooses a mace from his belt loop and comes at you with that in the other hand. He misses with the mace and tries to stab with the dagger and misses with that as well.
Okay.
He's right up on top of you. The horse is whinnying loudly and runs off.
21 to hit.
Oh yeah, you hit him.
9 damage.
Yep. You slice him again, and he looks down and says something. He like curses and says something in his own language, and then and looks back up at you and says in Summerlin's kind of halting Summerlin. He's like a common tongue. He's like, my death will be with you as well, and he's gonna go for you again. 16. Does that hit
No.
you? All right, you managed to hold onto your shield. And he stumbles past you on the second blow, missing again.
17.
Yep.
11.
Yeah, as he stumbles past you, you sidestep out of the way, turn to his exposed back, and just put the blade through his shoulder, in between his shoulder blades. Pull it out, and he is dead. So you hear the noises of pursuit up above you. Do you want to continue running?
Probably.
Then onward and upward, you claw your way through the hooded hillside. Make a let's make a athletics check.
23.
Very nice. You actually run for 4 hours.
Wow.
Your throat is dry and your heart is pounding as though it's about to burst, but you dare not slacken your pace until you are certain that you have outrun the enemy. It is dusk now, and you chance upon a narrow, steep-sided valley. carved from the hillside to afford access to a mine tunnel. For hundreds of years, the ore of the Makan Range has been the blessing and the bane of many who have ventured here to seek their fortune. Men have found wealth beyond their wildest dreams, but also men have perished without trace in its labyrinth of cold, dark tunnels. However, while examining the mine entrance, you know that if you can find a major passage, you can trace your way back to Ruinon. At this entrance, you also see a discarded wooden crate, and this contains 6 torches and a tinderbox,
Ooh,
which you could use to light your way if you want. You have dark vision, so
I
you
do.
don't need them, but you can take them if you wish. Each one will count as a backpack item, each torch. The tinderbox is a freebie.
Okay. She'll grab 2 torches then.
All right. Do you wish to enter the mines? You can also use augury here if you want.
I mean, if I already assume that it'll take me to Ruinon.
Yeah, you know there's a way through here to Ruinon.
Could I get a sense for, like, the danger, I guess? Like...
Yeah, you could do that. Use augury real quick, and you're asking basically, what are you asking? Are the mines dangerous?
I mean, they're mines. They're probably, potential cave-ins, monsters,
Right. So are you just asking if there's more danger?
More danger as taking the above ground route, yeah.
You almost fall over in shock. There is danger very close behind you. Your augury is screaming at you to go in the mines.
All right, here we go.
And that is where we will stop today. You can use any more lay on hands if you wish, or healing if you have it.
I'm good.
Okay. In that case, we'll start with the mines next time.
All right.
So thanks again, everybody, for joining us. I'm glad you got a chance to see that see the new character. Hope you're enjoying the new direction. So, all right. Well, next week we will launch into the mines of Ruinon and see what fun adventures await us in there, and whether you encounter a giant tunnel worm.
So thanks for hanging out, everybody. I hope you enjoy my new character. I went total polar opposite from Lone Wolf's build. I've never played a tank, so this is going to be entertaining. Yeah.
Well, then I'm going to log off, and I will see everybody next time. I mirror everyone's thoughts. I hope you're doing okay, of course. And
right.
I hope, of course, the strep just complicates things.
It
so
does.
That gets better fast.
It's probably just, with how stressed out I've been because of that, my immune system is probably down, and so one more thing for me to deal with. Yay.
Yeah, I'm sorry. But I hopefully you'll feel better. I'm sure you'll feel better for your birthday, and I'm pretty sure everything will turn out to be okay with your stuff. Hoping for that at least. So
right. Yeah, health complications are always spooky. So.
And I'm also hopeful that you'll survive the mines of Ruinon. So
the mines of Moria? Wait, what?
Yeah, the mines of Ruinon. So it's there's a lot to be hopeful for this week.
Indeed. Fingers crossed.
All right, everybody. Well, take care.
Take care, everyone. Bye.